Hola, welcome to today's lesson on indirect object pronouns. To whom and for whom. The learning objectives are that you'll be able to identify when and where to use the indirect object pronouns in Spanish, state the indirect object pronouns in Spanish, and use the indirect object pronouns appropriately in sentences in Spanish. So just like when I was talking about direct object pronouns, I abbreviated those DOPs, D-O-P. I call the indirect object pronouns InDOPs. And then I always think of the Hanson song, InDOP, InDOP. Remember that? So indirect object pronouns, or InDOPs, answer the question to whom or for whom in the sentence. So, for example, él les compró un vestido nuevo para su esposa. Él les bought a new dress for who? For his wife. Tú diste un regalo a tu primo. You gave a present to who? To your cousin. So, the indirect object pronouns, maybe they look familiar to you, are me for to me or for me, te for to you or for you, le for to him, to her, for him, for her, or to or for you formally, nos for to us or for us, os for to you all in Spain or for you all in Spain, and then les for to you all or to all of them. So, like I said, maybe these guys look familiar. You've already learned these indirect object pronouns. And I might have told you when we talked about the verb gustar, I said those little words out front of gusta, me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, those are called indirect object pronouns. And if you also remember, I don't like to teach the verb gustar as meaning to like. I teach it as to be pleasing to. And that's why we need those indirect object pronouns before it. To be pleasing to who? To be pleasing to me, or to be pleasing to them, to be pleasing to us. And then the whatever it is, the pizza, the whatever it is we're talking about, me gusta la pizza, is the direct object pronoun. So that's what it is that does the pleasing, and then the indirect object pronoun is who is being pleased. Whew, this is so grammar-y. Les gustan los deportes. Sports please whom? They please them. That's why we need the les out in front. So where do we put them? Well, you already know now, just because all of the verbs that work like gustar, me gusta, te gusta, those are really familiar to us at this point. The indirect object pronouns go out before the verb. So, le compré un boleto is I bought a ticket for who? For him or for her. We don't know exactly in this context, but le means to him or to her, for her. Te di mi número de teléfono. I gave my telephone number to who? To you, te. In negative sentences, we place the no before the indirect object pronoun. So, no te gustan las frutas. You don't like fruit. Por eso, no te compré las manzanas. For that reason, I didn't buy you the apples. Okay? So this is going to be a little bit of putting together what you already know, like the indirect object pronouns, using them with gustar, but now you can use them with all sorts of verbs to say who is receiving the whatever in the sentence. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and we've seen this before. This is old news also. When a verb is not conjugated, the indirect object pronoun can come at the beginning of the sentence, or it can be tacked on to the end of the unconjugated verb, just like the direct object pronouns. So, te voy a explicar la tarea. I am going to explain the homework to who? To you, te. Or, voy a explicarte la tarea. I'm going to explain to you the homework. Another example would be, te estoy explicando la tarea. I am explaining the homework to who? To you. Or estoy explicándote la tarea. am explaining it to you, the homework, which both of these are exactly the same. They mean exactly the same thing, and they're both equally correct. So whichever one you tend to be more comfortable with, people generally have one that makes more sense in their brain. I think for me, it's putting the indirect object pronoun at the beginning of the sentence, because I always do these guys backwards. You've probably seen me by now. I say, voy a explicar la tarea to you. And that's what the indirect object pronoun is at the beginning. So both of those have the same meaning. So time to check yourself. Can you identify, do you like that? Can you identify when and where to use the indirect object pronouns in Spanish? Can you state the indirect object pronouns? That just means, can you say, okay, the indirect object pronouns are me, te, le, nos, os, and les. And I'm sure you can do that by now. And then can you use them appropriately in sentences? Do you know where to put them? Can you use them in a meaningful way to enhance your Spanish speaking experience? I'm sure you can.